What up, peeps? I am back. We are here to continue with the Chucky franchise. We are on Cult of Chucky. This was pretty much the last of the, Brad Dourif Chucky movies. We are getting a series, though. It was supposed to be next year, then probably COVID. So they probably had to push it to next year, but yeah. We're supposed to be getting a series that basically is going to be a continuation of this. We still have technically one more Chucky movie, but it's the remake, which I will review tomorrow. But overall, I like this film. I love the ending. Between this and Curse, what I like is the ending where the bad guy wins. I like the ending where Chucky wins. I think it's a nice change up, especially because when I first watched this movie, this was another one that was straight to DVD. This one came out in 2017, so 4 years after after Curse. And I remember going into this one when I first heard because Andy's back out and he's actually gonna be more involved in the plot. I was thinking he's gonna show up and help Nika in the end. Nope. So I guess no further ado, we'll take a hit and we'll start the script reading. So we open with Andy after the events of the 4 years, and secretly he's been keeping Chucky's head, who he shot off in the end of Curse. In the credits. So we see that he's on a date, but the girl's clearly sorry. The girl's not into him, so he goes home, smokes. Do you have a funny little moment where Andy has Chucky's head, who's clearly got his head shot off, and he smokes with it? Kind of funny little scene, and Chucky's basically shit talking him, and he basically tortures it. And that's kind of it. Then we're reintroduced to Nika, who's been in a facility as electric shock therapy. She's been committed to go to another facility, which has less security, has more minimum fuck what's the term? Minimum security facility. And her psychologist, who's a piece of shit named Dr. Foley. Because I'm gonna get to why he's kind of a piece of shit. So he takes her to a different in between that, you see that she's being transferred there, which is where we're introduced to her fellow inmates. Malcolm, who has... There's this weird scene where they have sex randomly. It was very random. So, but yeah, we're introduced to Malcolm, who has multiple personality. You have Angela, who's a schizophrenic. You have Madeline. Yeah, Madeline. Okay, Madeline, who's a mom who killed her baby, and Claire, who has anger issues. Thinking she was the Asian chick. So things seem fine. Then Dr. Foley brings out a good guy doll, and and basically Madeline takes it as her. Basically, in a way, it's replacing her child. Personally really do like the mental hospital setting. I think it's interesting. I all around think the effects of this film, for a film that was straight to DVD, was pretty good. So, and then Nika plays it off like she, isn't, that she's not affected by the doll. So yeah, Madeline takes it as hers. And then, this is where we see Tiffany show up, Jennifer Tilly, with the doll, and tells her that the girl from the last film, Alice, Alice basically died, and then Alice wanted her to have this, and it was basically another good guy doll, and then basically that night, Chucky is one of the dolls, and I actually like they do a good job of this. They don't show you which one it is. So Chucky shows up, gets a scalpel, and he wants to go to basically kill Nika, but then the crazy lady Angela uh, basically talks to her. It's kind of funny little banter between the two. He's like, "I'll come back for you later." So he goes to Nika's room, um, and so basically Nika tries to kill herself. Then because she like Chucky walks in, and I think her arm was cut, and then she wakes up and basically it was sewn back up, and then he kills Angela and and he ended up killing Angela and made it look like suicide. So group therapy happens again. Nika starts thinking that it was Chucky, but Dr. Foley didn't believe. So he basically tells her, you know what, use that he can feel pain. So what Dr. Foley does is he grabs one of the dolls and uses a lighter on his hand, and it didn't react. Then I'm trying to think what else happens. So then now Nika thinks it's the other one, but the other one is protected by Madeline, and Madeline wouldn't let her. So basically, Nika tells and Malcolm have a plan, and basically tells Malcolm to go outside. Then so Claire, who we see earlier, throws away another doll, but then Chucky basically bites her, and Dr. Foley sees it, and basically Foley thinks she bit her own arm because she harms herself. So they strap her to a thing. So while Nika and Malcolm are doing their plan, Chucky kills Claire by I think he throws something on the roof, which is glass, and the glass falls on and kills Claire. Kind of like you could kind of almost like a little callback to Bride of Chucky, with which you said it was Tiffany that time, but yeah. So yeah, ends up killing Claire. Really good scene. Actually, really, I think some of the kills in this movie are pretty good. So then there's a scene. Andy takes a Chucky doll, which is the one he has, to the military, and tries to tell them about um, he tells them about the situation, but she doesn't believe it. The military doesn't believe. I think he did like a Zoom call, and they thought it was like animatronics. So this is where Chucky. So now Andy has to go to the institution, and this is where I was like, okay, he's gonna show up in the end and help Nika, and they're gonna defeat him. That's what I thought this film was gonna end. And then Tiffany calls him, who basically admit this is where we get the reference that it's confirmed that yeah. So the body she's using is Jennifer Tilly's body from Seed of Chucky. So one thing I gotta say, I love that these movies tie everything together. Because to be honest with you, sometimes don't get me wrong, I love Halloween 2018, but I think it was kind of cheap just erasing every sequel. I like that Chucky's like, you know what, we're just gonna make the sequels work. We're gonna make it to where and just make it all tie together. So the body that Tiffany is in is Jennifer Tilly's. It's awesome and it works. So basically, yeah, she taunts him, and basically this is where we're learning that Chucky. I'll just spoil it because the title. Chucky has now learned that this is the only kind of part of the film, or at least the explanation for it's kind of janky. How Chucky's able to possess other dolls, because then it does being like, why didn't you do this the whole time? But whatever. And I'll get to it when he gets to that scene. So that happens. So Dr. Foley hypnotizes Nika, and basically this is where it's revealed he brainwashes, and basically it's implied he basically rapes her. He doesn't flat out do it in the movie, but it's kind of hinted that he basically he hypnotizes her. I don't know. I'm mixed. I don't think you needed to do that. That just seems like that was a little bit much. Maybe it was just so we can have a guy to cheer when he dies. But it's like you could have just killed him without doing that. I don't know. It just, but whatever. So this piece of shit, yeah, he does that, and then basically convinces her that it was Nika, and then that he'll hide it. So Chucky smashes him when he tries to kiss on Nika, and basically wants her to kill him, and then she doesn't. And then and then Dr. Foley basically blames the attack on Nika. So Dr. Foley gets another Chucky doll, but it has like the military haircut, which is kind of funny. You know, a little bit of callback to Child's Play 3. This film, they do kind of um, tie a lot of the films together. So he gets another good guy doll. Andy shows up, punches out the security guard, and gets admitted in the rubber room. I will say, this pretty much is not the last we don't see from him for a minute. And she basically kills the good guy doll, kind of like, you know, how she killed her kid. So that happens. Then later that night, Chucky gets up from the grave, goes to Madeline's room, and basically he goes to his hand and rips her mouth out. It's a pretty brutal kill, to be honest. Then Dr. Foley goes back to her office, back to his office, and Nika's there, and he tries to do the he puts, I guess he has a foot fetish. It's weird. But then Chucky takes him out again, and then this is where Chucky reveals multiple. So this is where we get the reveal that was multiple, and then he explained that he read some like Voodoo for Dummies book. It was dumb. It was. I'll admit, it was like um, it was a bit lazy in the explanation. I think you could have did a bit more with it, but whatever. It's a minor thing. And then they all kill the one doctor, um, who walks in, and basically they kill him with all the glass. And then basically Chucky. Oh, so this we also learn what happens to Alice. So Alice, um, basically he possessed Alice in successfully in the end of Curse. I guess he was trying to kill somebody, and I guess somebody basically, Alice basically killed Alice, and he basically had to switch. I kind of would have wanted to see that. I know that was a little girl, but it would have been an interesting scene to see play out. But then they bring the other Chucky back to life. They kill the other nurse guy by they kill him in different ways. One with like a broken glass. I think another one with just a blade, and another one with it was like a drill. It's a pretty brutal death, to be honest. And then Tiffany pulls up and kills the guard. Then they come up with a plan. Um, Baby Chucky goes up. The other Chucky um, possesses Nika. This was actually a really good scene. So one of them, yes, possesses Nika, and now Nika can walk, and basically uh, stomps Dr. Foley's head. And I'm not gonna lie, Fiona Dourif, who's Brad Dourif's daughter, actually has the laugh. She does it pretty good, to be honest. And I actually really like it. I was shocked. Like, wait, what? He possessed Nika successfully. Then, um, the other Chucky tries to kill Andy. But Andy overpowers him and rips his chest out. Turns out he has a gun, and then shoots, um, him. And then Nika, I'll just say Nika Chucky, locks him in, and then, and basically says, "You're gonna kill Nika if you shoot." And then he locks the door. I'll say, I will agree. The one criticism for this movie I've seen people have, because this mix. I've seen people who like this movie, but I've also seen rant videos against this movie. I do think they could have done more with Andy, just because like I'm fine with the amount of Andy we got because it was kind of cool seeing him doing stuff in the background. But I agree. You could have did a bit more, but it was fine. I was fine with it because to be honest with you, I was kind of happy it wasn't a predictable ending. I think that's the biggest thing. I was happy it wasn't a predictable ending because I called it when I first watched. I'm like, oh, Andy's gonna help Nika in the end, and yeah. So Nika locks him in, and then basically while the other Chucky kills Malcolm with the drill to the head, and then the other Chuck, and then basically Nika leaves with Tiffany, and then they kiss and then drive off. And then in the post credit scene, we get a reference to Kyle from Child's Play 2. Walks and basically starts fucking him up. Oh, it's the Chucky head that Andy has. She comes in and tortures him. So it's kind of cool, implying that she's gonna be coming in the end. Overall, I like this film. I think there is some like I do think the way they explain how he's able to possess multiple bodies is a bit weird. And maybe if this one was a smidge longer, maybe they could have went more into that. But whatever. It's a films like Chucky. I expect to have a little bit of ridiculousness. It's a movie about a killer doll, so I can't expect it to have like the most amazing writing. And I think for what it was, it works. I really dig the film. I like the kills. I like the multiple Chuckies. I like that Chucky basically wins in the end. In both Curse and Colt, he wins in the end. It was something different. Instead of him just getting defeated again. And I think they were planning for more. It's just we haven't had it in a minute. But now they're doing this series, which is supposed to be coming out, I think, next year. So, but overall, I love this movie. And I love this franchise largely. I don't think there's really a bad one in the bunch. Like, Seed is batshit crazy, but Seed knows what it is. If you just look at it as a meta parody movie, it's fine. Like, Chucky, to me, there's not one like I've been saying. You notice I've not ranted really about any of these movies. Like in Halloween, I had the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 one, and I even ranted on H2O. In Friday the 13th, it was Jason Goes to Hell. So this one, there wasn't a film that was that bad, and Scream's gonna be the same thing. So overall, I like this movie, and then we are gonna be reviewing the remake tomorrow, and I do have criticisms, but I overall like really quick thoughts on the remake before I get to the review. The remake is fine as a slasher, but it doesn't work as a Chucky movie, and I'll explain more. But other than that, I say watch this movie and watch this movie if you want to. You don't have to watch the remake. You can just watch Child's Play to Curse Cult of Chucky as that's the Chucky franchise. You don't necessarily have to watch the remake. So, but out of 10, I'd give this film I'd give it like a 7.5. I think it's really good, and I find myself watching it, and I'm probably going to watch it again at some point. But tomorrow we got the remake, and then Wednesday will be Scream 3. So, but yeah. Alright, guys. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to say this again. Fuck the bitches who flag drunken Ryan's Teespring store. But yeah. Alright, guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.